If you were going to a rally and you were, let's say you were upset with the statue coming down, and you saw people with Nazi symbols and saying anti-Semitic and racist things, would you continue to stay there and support?
No, Don.
Do you think very fine people were among the crowds there?
Look, I think people get confused. I think you or I clearly would walk away from those kinds of people. I would also walk away from Antifa. They hold up signs saying more dead cops. Google that and you'll see that. They are also supremacists. They are also people who support violence and utilize violence. They didn't kill anybody that weekend, but they may at another time. They have attacked people in the past. I would also walk away from an Antifa rally. And I would ask, don't you think that's also correct, to walk away from them as well?
Well, the president did say he thought there were very fine people on both sides, and if there's...
I think what he meant by that, and maybe I'm wrong, is he meant there are people who think that a statue of a Confederate general, of Robert E. Lee, should come down. That's a legitimate position. And there are people who think it's part of our history and perhaps it should stay up. That's a legitimate position. But nobody who is a neo-Nazi, nobody who's a skinhead, nobody who's a Klansman, nobody who's within Antifa, in my vision, is somebody who is a reasonable person or a good person. Those are people who are full of hate. I kind of think that's what he intended to say. I don't think he said it clearly.
It sounds like you're, just for clarity, you're not making the same moral equivalence as for Antifa and the neo-Nazi folks who are out there, the neo-Nazi racists. One is there fighting the fascism, and whether their tactics are right, you know, we can debate that, but they're not on the same level, are they?
You know, the Soviets, the Soviet communists, for a while thought fascists. That did not make them good people. They killed a lot of people too. Antifa is full of anarchists and communists, and they are not good people. Now, if you want to say who's worse, yeah, I guess that at this point, there's no question the neo-Nazis are worse, but that doesn't make Antifa good guys because they dislike people that you and I dislike. I hope we can agree.
None of you minded how President Trump responded.
No. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I mean, he addressed the problem. I mean, let's face the reality. There are problems on both sides.
Well, what do you say to that? I'm just going to speak from the heart here. What we have witnessed was a total eclipse of the facts. Someone who came out on stage and lied directly to the American people.
Do you think that neo-Nazis and white supremacists are the same as those who are protesting them?
I think it's ridiculous to have me choose between Hitler and Stalin.
And left things out that he said in an attempt to rewrite history, especially when it comes to Charlottesville. He's unhinged.
And why are the people who turned out to protest Nazis, why are they Stalin to you?
The Antifa group to me is totally a very Stalinish kind of group.
How so?
If you're willing to set fires and burn places to the ground, that doesn't sound like a very peaceful group to me.
It's embarrassing, and I don't mean for us, the media, because he went after us, but for the country. This is who we elected president of the United States, a man who is so petty that he has to go after people who he deems to be his enemy, like an imaginary friend of a 6-year-old.
But
they're both the same evil.
They didn't use those tactics in Charlottesville.
So then I blame the government.
His speech was without thought. It was without reason. It was devoid of facts. It was devoid of wisdom. There was no gravitas. There was no sanity there. He was like a child.
Why do you blame the governor or the government for a white supremacist mowing down a crowd of people and killing someone?
Because they didn't protect the people that day.
The people who were marching with the signs, do you see them as neo-Nazis and white supremacists?
I mean, it hasn't been investigated, so we really don't know who was out there. But I'm telling you, I've seen videos of other people who were out there who were not neo-Nazis.
He did it. I didn't do it. He certainly opened up the race wound from Charlottesville.
You believe that there were very fine people protesting?
Yes, I do.
How do you know that?
I'm only telling you from videos that I've seen that people.
But what's the source of your videos? Where are you seeing them?
Facebook. And when I tried to repost those videos, they wouldn't allow me.
A man clearly wounded by the rational people who are abandoning him in droves, meaning those business people, and the people in Washington now who are questioning his fitness for office.
But they still have the right to say those crazy things.
And whether he is stable. A man backed into a corner, it seems, by circumstances beyond his control and beyond his understanding.
They came there to do battle with them. They showed up with helmets, body armor, clubs. They showed up with balloons filled with urine.
Yeah, they didn't
And
throw it
these
for the
guys,
local.
and these guys showed up with semi-automatic weapons.
And
In the
that's
state of Virginia, open carry is legal. You can walk
Understood,
down
but
the
again,
street.
It seems to me that you're giving these guys a green light. The white
No,
supremacists.
the green light is
Green
on.
light.
not at all.
Oh.
That's the truth.
Gute Regierung ohne Propaganda kann ebenso wenig bestehen wie eine gute Propaganda ohne eine gute Regierung.